and like say these are all the facts, but people were grown up to or were raised to believe that like climate change is this just this cyclical thing and you shouldn't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like people are starting to claim refuge because their island homes are getting swallowed by the ocean, and you still don't think that something's going on.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Um, just stuff like that where I think the reform that we're actually seeing is that some young people are actually starting to question what their parents tell them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a thing that happens with every generation. It probably is, but I don't know if it's more so now. But I like that I'm seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's
Mm.
the reform from
Blindly.
bland, yeah,
Yeah,
or like
being obedient.
complacency. Is that the word?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Uh, the natural talent I'd like to be gifted with.
I wish I was. I have like two wishes. I wish I could play classical acoustic guitar.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
They're both art talents that I'd love to have.
Okay.
Um,
It's
well,
really
no, I
interesting.
have like three, I guess, and
Yeah,
one's not an art talent.
it's you it said talent, but
Yeah.
expand like I don't know. You can answer with as many or as little as you want.
I would also love to be a very powerful and moving visual artist,
Okay.
whether that's painting or drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, to sort of, I like to think I have a very vivid imagination, and
Mm-hmm.
to, I would really like to unambiguously show people what's going on inside my head rather than try to paint the picture with words, which is what I try to do with my writing. I'd like
Mm-hmm.
to actually let people inside and see like this is what I saw.
That's
And
really interesting. So, in that way, do you think that your writing is like limiting somewhat?
it's limiting somewhat, but you can also pack a lot more information into
Yeah, I think so
in
too.
and you deliver it to them more succinctly, and there's this whole culture around painting where it either is or is not emotional, and like you have to sit with the painting for a long time to get it. um, I think that art should really just be enjoyed, and that art should be made to be enjoyed rather, and sometimes, or maybe all the time, to also convey a message. But I don't think art of any sort should be only a vehicle for a message. I think it should also be enjoyable and
Mm-hmm.
should excite people. Um, and I like when I show people my writing, they get excited and they like it. Um,
So, why do you think that you're a bad visual artist?
I just am bad at forcing my hands to make the shapes that pop up in my head.
Gotcha. So there's some sort of disconnect.
Yeah. When I sit down, I remember when I was younger, I drew this really awesome, like, really lifelike looking pencil drawing of a dragon. I was so proud of it. Um, and that was like the only time I produced something that I was proud of. And it took me like
Oh no.
5 hours to do.
Jeez.
And it was like erasing. It was so like corrupted with eraser smudges and like lines that I had drawn too darkly because I'd never been trained in drawing and like never or like I know in my head that I'm supposed to draw lightly before I commit to a pencil stroke, but I always commit every
Kids
time.
don't know that shit.
um,
Hey, yeah, if you've ever written a sentence and erased it and written a sentence and erased it, then it's
yeah.
the same sort of process.
Although the computer screen doesn't leave marks, and I've since graduated from pencil writing. And I get the third talent I would like would be to be very agile or acrobatic,
Okay.
like those crazy people that do parkour. Or just I
Mm-hmm.
love climbing things, and I have to do that more. But I also like seeing people like flip through the air and like isn't that
Mm-hmm.
cool? And wouldn't that be so freeing? It'd be almost like flying, I think. and I love running and biking for the same reason because I like going fast, and it's the closest thing to that next level of freedom. And I think if I was very gymnastic or acrobatic or whatever, I think that would be something I would pursue a lot as well. Um, but it's just something that I would have needed to started practicing younger, or the fact that whenever I tried that shit in gym class in like grades 5 and 6, my back would always give me pain for the next week or so. It just
Yeah.
means that my body isn't suited to it. I don't know, but I would love to be able to do that if I could.
Yeah. That's really funny that you chose three sort of physical skill type talents. That's, I wasn't expecting that, especially when you bumped it up to three. And I guess like one thing that, and this recording isn't really about me at all.
Mm.
One thing that I was thinking about, like a skill that I'd like to possess, is being like a natural orator, like being really good and like really articulate, even in like a non-practice sort of forum, uh, at at giving speeches and talking to people. And I think that would be a really cool skill. And certain people definitely have it, and many people don't. And it's always really interesting and really cool to see people like that.
I agree with that. Um, I don't know if I would like to be in the public eye that goes along with that.
Mm-hmm.
Many famous orators are also huge celebrities, and I want to be important in this world, but I don't want to be necessarily visual.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I could accomplish the same thing if I could write really powerfully
Mm-hmm.
about important things, which I'm starting to do more
Yeah.
now. Um, I guess if we're going to talk about a personality talent, I would like to be.
Or like a mental talent, like
Um,
having a really good memory, I think would also be like really interesting for me. I'd love to have a photographic memory or really like that type of
mhm.
crazy.
I think, well, if we're going to go with that, like a personality slash mental thing, I would like to be more charming, more suave. Just for I've met I've met so many people that are just so convincing. My friends Cam and Matt Glynn come to mind, where they could literally talk you into doing anything or giving them anything, and you'd be completely like
Helpless.
okay with it.
Okay, that's funny.
And I would use my power for good, but
Sure.
I just I admire them for not ever feeling so or as awkward as I do. Like I
Mm.
just always feel slightly out of place or slightly like, are they really like getting that I'm not being weird on purpose?
Hmm.
That this is
Well,
just the
I
way.
think like awkwardness is uh
It has its own charm sometimes.
yeah,
But
I think it can be charming, but also I think it's uh I think like awkwardness is almost always genuine. And I think that like charm isn't necessarily always genuine.
it's natural to those two, and they're
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, for
so
sure. Like
smooth, and I wish I could be as smooth as them.
yeah, it would be an interesting thing for sure. Okay, so next question is how I wish to die.
Um, I'll give a typical answer, which is surrounded by friends and loved ones,
Mm.
um, and preferably not in extreme pain. Maybe just feeling like I'm about to expire or like blow away, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
if we want to use a metaphor. Um,
We do.
I'd like to pass peacefully. I'd also
Mm.
like to pass outdoors,
Okay,
maybe under a tree or something.
interesting. Are you a burial or cremation type of guy?
Definitely burial, and
Oh,
call
that's interesting.
call me a hippie, but I would just like to rejoin the earth, as it were, um, rather than have my ashes as a monument somewhere. I don't even know.
I think people often do the like people keep ashes in an urn or whatnot, but
Some
they
people
also do the
scatter them.
scattering,
Yeah.
which I thought that was what you were gonna say.
That would be I don't know. It, um I in my secret mind, I guess I'm a bit of a mystic, and I feel
What does
I
that mean?
I feel well
In my secret
to
mind.
this is